Hello students, welcome back to the second video of chapter number 5, the fundamental unit of life of class 9th. In the earlier video, we have already discussed about the structural unit, and now we are going to discuss about the functional unit of cell, wherein we will be studying about few cell organelles and their function in the cell. The three common cell organelles present in each and every cell is the plasma membrane, nucleus, and the cytoplasm. This is the structure of a cell where this is the central point of a cell called as nucleus. The fluid portion that is present within the cell is called as cytoplasm, and the outer covering of the cell is called as a cell membrane or the plasma membrane. The plasma membrane of the cell looks like a lipid bilayer where the lipids are present and the integral proteins are embedded into the phospholipid layer. This structure is also known as fluid mosaic structure, which is given by the scientists known as Nicholson and Singer. These helps the passage of solutes or the solvents to exit or to enter into the cell. That means the outer membrane of the cell is known as the plasma membrane. The entry or exit of any solute particles or the solvent will be allowed only in the presence of this plasma membrane. Therefore, the function of plasma membrane is that it keeps the cell intact. That means it is acting as a protective barrier in order to make the cell in an intact position or to check the entry and exit of particles into the into the cell or outside the soil. It regulates the transport because plasma membrane act as a protective barrier, so it will protect the cell from the extreme heat, extreme cold, or from the saline conditions. Thus, as we have already discussed, is regulate the transport in and out of cell. Therefore, plasma membrane is also known as the selectively permeable membrane. It allows the entry of small lipid soluble particles or molecules, for example, gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, and it can also allow the freely passage of water across the membrane. As we have discussed that plasma membrane allows the cell to exchange materials within the surroundings, like it allows the passage for the gases. So depending on the exchange of gases and the solvent molecules, the plasma membrane exhibit two processes, that is diffusion as well as osmosis. Now the question comes, what do you mean by the term diffusion? Diffusion is the net passive movement of molecules or particles from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. For example, if you are spraying a perfume in one of the room that you are standing in, the fragrance of the perfume will be transferred from the high concentration to the low concentration into the another room. So where you are standing and applying the perfume, that room will be having the higher concentration gradient, and it will slowly diffuses to another room, and it will be smelled by another person who is standing in some another room. So in that case, the diffusion takes place from the concentration of higher gradient to lower concentration room. Similarly, when we add tea leaves to hot boiling water, the leaves will start diffusing from the higher concentration to lower concentration into the water. So, in this case, both the cases are the examples of diffusion. On the other hand, in case of osmosis, there is a net movement of water molecules. That means here the movement will be of solvent. So there will be the net movement of water molecules from the cell membrane. That means it requires a membrane, a semi-permeable membrane for the movement, that is from the high concentration to the area of low concentration. So osmosis is the movement of solvent particles or solvent molecules, and diffusion is the movement of solute molecules or the gases. Both of them move from high concentration to lower concentration, but in case of osmosis, it requires a membrane for the movement of solvent particles from high concentration to low concentration. So you can easily differentiate between diffusion and osmosis with the help of this diagram. Here the solute molecules have been added to the solvent, and from the high concentration solvent, so high concentration solute will start diffusing, and it will diffuse all to the low concentration position, and it will be evenly distributed or diffused in within the solvent. But in case of osmosis, there is a movement of solvent molecules from low concentration to high concentration within the semi-permeable membrane. Now coming to the solution. What is the meaning of solution? When a solute is mixed in a solvent, the outcome of this mixing results into the formation of solution. That means, for example, this is a salt, and when the salt is mixed with water, the outcome of this mixture results into the formation of saline water or the salt solution. So this water will be known as the solution. There are three types of solution: isotonic solution, hypertonic solution, and hypotonic solution. Let us see what do you mean by the term isotonic solution. Isotonic means iso means same and tonic means strength. The solution that have same concentration of solute as well as the solvent, that type of solution is known as isotonic solution. That means there are equal number of solutes as well as the solvent. On the other hand, hyper means more and tonic means strength. That means when the number of solute is more than that of the solvent, that type of solution is known as hypertonic solution. So we are going to look at the number or the amount of solute. Whenever there is more amount of solute, then that solution contains hypertonic solution. On the other hand, in case of hypotonic solution, hypo means less and tonic means strength. That means a solution where there is fewer solute, or the amount of solute is less than that of the solvent. That type of solution is called as hypotonic solution. Now let us look at the example. We are taking three types of solution, and animal cell, that is the red blood cell, is taken. When the red blood cell is incorporated in a hypertonic solution, In that case, since the amount of solute is more in case of hypotonic solution, it will enter into the RBCs or the red blood cells, leading to the shrinkage of the red blood cells. On the other hand, when there is equal number of equal number of solutes as well as solvent, in that case there will be no change in the size of the RBCs. Whereas in case of hypotonic solution, when there is very less amount of solute present in the solvent, in that case there is osmosis. A proper osmosis leads to the uh, leads to bulging of RBCs, and at there would be a time when the excessive bulging leads to the bursting of RBCs. So the question comes, what happens to the RBCs when it is placed in hypotonic solution? Then the answer will be that it will burst out due to lesser amount of solute in the solvent. Same, what happens to the RBCs when it is placed in hypotonic solution? It shrinks. And what happens when the RBCs are placed in isotonic solution? Then there will be no change in the shape of RBCs. Now, depending on the passage of molecules within the cell or outside the cell, there are two types of processes, that is endocytosis as well as exocytosis. When a cell is taking in a substance by its surrounding within its membrane, in that case the process is known as endocytosis. Endo means when the substance are getting into the cells. When the substances are going outside the cells due to bursting, in that case the process will be exocytosis. Molecules are entering into the cell, the process will be endocytosis. Due to bursting, the molecules are going out of the cell, the process is known as exocytosis. Thus, we can say that the plant can have its structural strength because of the presence of cell membrane apart from plasma membrane. And the cell walls are present in case of plants, in case of fungi, and in case of bacteria in order to provide the strength to their structure. That's all with the plasma membrane. Hope you like this video. Thank you.